We've been doing this for 35 weeks. We haven't skipped a week. I don't think we
No,
haven't, right?
we have
So
not.
that's 6 months, guys. 6 months.
Yay us.
6 months. Today's episode is called "Give Brandy Her Things." Beat with "How Do You Ruin Ashanti?"
Who knows,
Because,
man?
friends, it is time for our biannual Joyner Lucas conversation.
Do we have to?
Biannual. We only talk about that nigga twice a year. Wait, are you still live? Because it's telling me I'm not live anymore. No, you're done?
I'm.
Okay.
I am done. That's
Oh,
over.
yeah. We're on the chop block one now. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So let's get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, guys. This is episode 35 of the Chop Block Podcast. The Chopping Block Podcast is our weekly conversation of music things from the music creator's perspective. I am your resident favorite Haitian,
And I'm a
as
guy here in Wakanda.
who
Wakanda
raps
forever. I,
Wakanda forever. Um, I ain't gonna hold you. I've been a little fucked up this week for two reasons. Number
mm,
one, too much has happened this year, and the loss of Chadwick Boseman was just a little too much. Just a little too much. People have been protesting about George Floyd since Memorial Day weekend, right around there. Since then, three other black men that we know of have been shot by police. The most recent happened, what day was this? September 1st. What was that? Tuesday?
yeah.
So let's just, since late May, early June, people have been protesting, demanding that police officers be held accountable for their actions, demanding justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for George Floyd, justice for Rayshard Brooks, justice for, fuck, man. Okay, like it's just, and in that time, three more black men have been shot by police. Like, so the police just still do, like, they not deterred. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
Oh,
you
at
know, when
all.
you done got in trouble, you know, you already got in trouble, you already know you skating, and so you trying to do everything else right at home so you don't get in more trouble. These niggas don't give a fuck. And I just don't know anymore. I'm tired. Like, I literally be skipping over. I had to go look up Dijon Kizzy's name. That's the man who was shot by Los Angeles County Sheriff deputies on Tuesday. I had to go look up his name because I can't click on these stories no more, bro. Like, I'm just so tired of this bullshit. So to have, in the midst of all of that, to have Chadwick Boseman pass away, when, you know, people were speculating about his health a couple months ago because some video and some photos that came out where he looked really frail. But he is the kind of actor that we would expect to go through like some crazy physical transformation for a role, so we didn't really know what was going on. And to find out that he had been battling colon cancer for 4 years, like the whole time that he created all of the movies that we love him for, he was fighting cancer.
Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, the world stopped for Chadwick Boseman. Um,
Yes.
and you know, when you're a part of one of the biggest movies ever, um, in a time like this with a significant cultural um, climate going on. Um, I mean, it's crazy. Like even before George Floyd, you know, the conversations about Black America, things that we needed to do to put ourselves in better standing in the United States, and also just Black people in the world. and the way we were viewed was altered by one movie.
Yep.
And it's amazing to think, but 2 years ago, we all went to see this movie 1, 2, 3 times in the theaters. You know what I'm saying? And it just changed everything. And to realize that this man was dealing with all of this while he filmed that movie, went on press runs, basically, I remember it was a joke about, I think it was on one of the talk shows where it's about people just randomly stopping him doing the Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, and how he was sick of people just doing that everywhere.
And his faces was just like, and you think like, man, he was also tired. He was also burdened with all these other things. And hindsight's 2020. So, none of us knew what was going on. None of us had any idea. It turns out his coworkers didn't know, like Disney didn't know, like nobody knew. His very, 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 very close inner circle were the only people who really knew what was going on. And he suffered in silence, and it was amazing what he was able to accomplish. And just his whole story, man. Like the fact that Denzel paid for his education, it's just like, it's crazy, but that dude is he's immortalized. I mean, yeah. Absolutely immortalized. Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, just so many iconic roles in such a short period of time. Man, so, that one hit us. That one hit everybody. Like I said, that one hit everybody. That one crossed cultural lines.
On a Friday night at 10:30 p.m., like Disney and TBS ran Black Panther commercial free on Sunday. They've put 42 back in theaters as of yesterday, so you can actually go to movie theaters and see 42, the Jackie Robinson story. They've delayed. They were about to start doing some promo stuff for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which is the last film I think that he taped, which is it's an adaptation of an August Wilson play. But even like one of his castmates from the Five Bloods was like, when he got on set, his wife asked him what Chadwick was like, and he was like, he thought that Chadwick had gotten a big head off of the success of Black Panther because there were so many people attending to him on set. And come to find out, this is why he had an entourage. He had an entourage of, medical professionals. He had his girlfriend or his wife. I don't know if he was married, but he had his, his partner was there on set with him, holding his hand and sticking by him. The only person that I know personally to have battled colon cancer, but I know colon cancer is one of the tougher ones. The only person I know personally who battled it didn't know that he had it until he was stage 4, and that was Reggie Osei, Combat Jack. And I can tell you that Reggie, when I saw Reggie in October, like he died maybe 6 weeks after I saw him. He was in pain. He had some pain. He had like his stomach was hurt. Like he had some stomach pain that he'd been complaining about. But other than that, you wouldn't have known. Like he was a little slower than usual, but you wouldn't have really known what he was going through.
No, not at all.
And but then at the same time, like it's this year already, and how heavy this year has already been. It's his impact culturally. It's the fact that he was 43. 43.
Right, I turn 40 tomorrow.
Oh shit! Since your birthday tomorrow?
Yeah. Wait, is it tomorrow? Oh. What's today?
Wow. Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It's Sunday. I turned 40 on Sunday. I'm sorry.
I turned 40 in January, so like we it's very close to us in age. The other part that fucked me up, bro, is like I really want y'all to stop saying shit like, oh, if Chadwick Boseman could do all the stuff that he did while battling cancer, then you can. No, please don't say that to people, y'all. It's me. I'm people. I've been, like literally, struggling, trying to figure out what I need to do in my own life to get my own depression and anxiety under control so that I can be the most effective grown-up that I can be. And yeah, you're not gonna shame me because I handle my battle differently than Chadwick Boseman handled his.
Well, we all handle our battles different. We all have individual intricacies to our stories, things that we're trying to get together. So that's not a fair assessment.
So y'all need to stop doing shit like that. The other thing, which I get, but I hate, but I get, is this man family ain't even had a chance to really announce any kind of memorial service, nothing. And y'all already recasting T'Challa. Like, what is wrong with y'all? What is the matter?
So,
Oh man.
so there's two conversations here.
Okay.
And you know, me and the homies had a talk about this, and one of the things that we were talking about was Heath Ledger, right? And when you take on a role of a character that exists and has existed for such a long time, Chadwick Boseman took Black Panther to a new level of prominence, but Black Panther is an eternal character. So,
Right.
It's tough because I don't want to see Black Panther 2 with a new Black Panther immediately. But at some point, you got to do it.
Yes.
It's weird that we're having a conversation right now.
That's the part.
That's the weird part. Why are we talking about this
conversation.
Right.
I get the conversation. I get the character. I also, we don't know where exactly they were in the production process with Black Panther 2.
No,
I've heard they hadn't started filming. I've heard they wrapped. So I get why it's a conversation. I get why it's a topic. I get why the character would be recast. I get that in the actual comic book side of the Marvel universe, that Shuri does take on the role of Black Panther at some point, and that's an option. I get all those things. I'm just saying it ain't been a full 7 days since that man passed away, and y'all already recasting him. Omari Hardwick, bless your heart. Did you not see any of that?
Nah, I've been avoiding the conversation.
So Omari Hardwick posted a so-called tribute to Chadwick Boseman, but it was really the weirdest flex. It reminded me of, those posts that you'll see where somebody tells you like some inspirational shit that their 3-year-old did, and you're looking at them like your 3-year-old did not do or say that. Like, there's no way. So according to this post, Omari Hardwick won some award for Power, and as he was going up to accept his award, Chadwick Boseman dapped him up, and he wanted to share with us what their conversation was, which is that Chadwick Boseman told him to go up there and get that award because that's had his name on it from day one, and that he's proud to be to have been one of Chadwick Boseman's biggest competitors, and that he'll carry on the torch for him. Sis, the whole internet reacted with that look that you just gave us. Like, bitch, who? Ghost from Power? In real life.
Yeah. If y'all listening to the audio only version, I am WTFing over here. I got nothing to say, man. Got nothing to say.
And then, wait, there's more. And then when somebody called him out and was like, hey, man, how you gonna make this alleged tribute about somebody that you allegedly were friends with about yourself? He responded with something like, your negativity is as cancerous as the disease that killed Chadwick. Sir, what? Shut up, bro.
Yeah, okay. Next. I'm glad they killed your dumb ass.
Shut up, bro. Meanwhile, Power is going on. Like, book 2 debuts this Sunday. They just greenlit book 4.
Why
And
is
then they're gonna
Tariq still alive? I don't want to.
Huh?
I don't like. Why is Tariq still alive? We wanted him dead.
I mean, maybe he won't. The way that I'm reading the stuff that I'm reading about these new books, these new sequels, and there's one that's a prequel. I think they're all limited series, so there's still time for Tyreek to die. That's horrible to say, but yeah, there's still time.
Yeah.
There is still time. All right, guys. I watched the verses. I watched the verses from beginning to end. I did. And I consciously avoided well, actually no, I didn't consciously avoid saying negative things on the internet. I just really I was out. I was out, and so I could only watch it on my phone. So I couldn't watch it on my phone and then go talk shit on social media. Um, but in my defense, for those people that would maybe would want to say that I was a hypocrite for watching it after I talked so much shit about it at the beginning, what was my complaint? What was always my complaint?
The people who watch.
No, the audio quality was my original complaint.
Too,
that's why I didn't want to fuck with it. Yeah, I wasn't interested because the audio quality was trash. And I couldn't understand how the best and brightest that we have in the music business couldn't get that shit together. So once y'all got that shit together, Brandy and Monica in Atlanta at Tyler Perry Studios.
Is it together? I haven't watched the Instagram feed. Is it better there too?
Yeah. Okay. The audio was great. The audio was flawless. Actually no, I had zero complaints about the audio. Okay. Zero complaints. The only thing that I noticed, but I don't know that there's any way that anybody can control that, is while I was on the Beltline listening to it on my phone via IG, somebody rode by me that was playing it on a speaker, and our audio was not at the same spot. But I don't know if that was, internet things. I don't know.
No, but so the Apple and the Instagram are definitely not on the same planet. They're
And I guess they figure if you're watching it on one, you're not watching it on the other, so it doesn't matter.
Possibly.
So my complaint was the audio. There was no issues with the audio. Shouts to my homeboy, Big Bro, and co-author DJ Mars for holding Monica down. Okay.
Yeah, he did his thing.
All last week, from the time this thing was announced, you motherfuckers was on the internet like Brandy, Rihanna, Norwood was not finna show up and show out. 7 days I watched you niggas sit there and say that Brandy, Rihanna, Norwood did not have the songs or the catalog to compete with Monica Denise.
See, that's interesting because I saw the exact opposite. I swear, our timeline.
Because I know more Atlanta people or follow more Atlanta people.
It's very possible because I don't think that's what the world was saying. The world was actually saying the whole exact opposite.
A lot of people were saying that Brandy has the better voice and Monica has the better catalog, and I still couldn't see that.
So yeah, nobody outside of Atlanta was saying that. That was a bit. That was like, it was like Atlanta in the South.
Okay.
But the rest of the world was clearly thinking that Brandy was going to walk in there and just trash Monica. Monica actually surprised a lot of people because they forgot she had that many hits. So.
It's me, I'm people. So, as a woman of my age, there's no way, if you are between the ages of 30 and 45, I would say, there's a very, very slight chance that you were only a fan of one of them throughout your life. Most women my age, we came up at a time where we rocked with all these girls. We loved we didn't do this competition shit that they do now. We loved Aaliyah, we loved Brandy, we loved Monica, we loved Tatiana Ali, we loved
Deborah Cox, whoever. There wasn't.
We loved the girls that looked like us and that were out there, whether they were singing or acting. We didn't pit them against each other.
Well, now we live in the Stan era where you have to pick a side.
You have
It's
to pick a
weird.
side.
I mean that.
And you know, it started for the two of them. Obviously, it started with the song "The Boy Is Mine,"
Right.
which you know
But
there
even
were
with
definitely
that,
other
do we
factors
know?
outside of them that wanted to amp that up.
But even with that, like I'm gonna be honest, I never thought that was a big deal. You know, like even after the song, like it was fun. You know,
Right.
but we weren't all like buying into it. Like, all right, cool, I'm on this side and I'm on that side. They're
At
beefing.
all.
Like that's a recent concoction. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, and it's just it's. I hate to be like, man, you know, back then was better, but we didn't have like. There's a clear point in time where stands became a thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you had fan bases. Don't get me wrong. You know, like Michael Jackson had fans. You know, but those same people listened to Prince. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't like, oh, you know, I don't mess with Prince
I
because
don't
I'm
mess with
Team
that one.
Michael
And
Jackson.
that's
Like,
so when Monica's first album came out, I think in '95, Miss Thing came out.
yeah, sounds like
Um, my best friend's nickname was Miss Thing, right? Um, we listened to both. Like I listened to that album probably more than I listened to Brandy's first album. I didn't really like the Brandy album that really pulled me all the way in that I truly like still play on a regular basis now is Full Moon. So honestly, listening to this verses, Brandy even kind of not surprised me, but there's a bunch of Brandy songs that I hadn't even thought about when I was thinking of what she might play. And what I'm not gonna let y'all do on Al Green's internet, shouts to Al Green, who is still alive in case y'all didn't know. Just found out this
I
week.
didn't know. I didn't know.
What I'm not gonna let y'all do on Al Green's internet is sit here and act like Angel in Disguise was not a fucking bop. Was not one of the most beautiful vocal productions ever.
I mean, who's doing that? Like, what's so okay? None of what I okay. So I hosted a viewing party, and we had about 70,000 people watch this with us. We're on Facebook, randoms, the most savage of savage. But all the comments had to do with the shade. You know, they didn't have to do with the actual content, right? A couple Brandy songs we were like, I don't, that ain't it, sis. What is this? You know,
Right.
maybe a couple times, maybe one or two times from Monica. But most of the comments was about outfits. It was about how thick Brandy's gotten. It was about her outfit choice. It was about just Monica's mannerisms. You know, it was about the
Right.
Brandy's attempts to get Monica to sing. It was about the fact that Brandy knew all of Monica's songs and Monica ain't know none of Brandy's songs or enough to want to sing them. But none of it was about their actual hits. Like nobody was like, man, that ain't it. Like who would say Angel in Disguise?
People are saying that Brandy got washed.
Billboard, first of all, Billboard gave
Not
it to Brandy.
Billboard.
I know,
Billboard
but I'm
said
just
Brandy
saying.
won.
I'm just saying.
But Billboard, yeah.
And I don't agree with Billboard. I don't either. I think Monica won too, but
I don't.
It was super close. If I had to go and be the judge, because we went back and looked through the records, and it was a lot of them was a toss up. You know,
a lot of them were toss up. To me, there were a lot of ties.
Like bomb, like hit. They were like, oh yeah, you played this. All right, cool, I'm gonna play that. You know, and that's what makes verses fun. When you got hit for hit, you know what I'm saying? And they're really going back and forth. So it was a well-rounded, even and funny verses. Like I you know, it dragged on. Like at the end, everybody wanted to drag on.
I didn't understand why it had to be as long as it was.
Because Brandy kept telling stories and reading poems.
And poems. Nobody needed the poems, sis. Nobody needed the poems. No one. I also feel like too much energy is being given to this whole, oh, they were shading each other. You could tell they don't like each other. There was a point, and I can tell you exactly what time it was because I looked at the clock. At 10:43 p.m., I was like, oh no, let these bitches out the room. Like they have been around each other too long. It's too much is going on. Because somebody said some shit. I think Brandy said some slick shit, and Monica was like, what did you say? And Brandy was like, oh, I was just that's an Aquarius
That
I'm an
happened.
Aquarius, and I'm here to tell
I
you,
think it was just personalities. Like they have two
yeah,
different personalities and two different mannerisms, and they're funny. The dynamic of them together was just hilarious. Brandy is very Jersey, and I'm gonna be honest because it was funny. I was laughing. I don't know if you remember, but when Brian Michael Cox and was when we were having a conversation about Dark Child, who's also from South Jersey, and Brandy, I mean, and Brian Michael Cox, and he was talking about it. He was shading Brian Michael Cox like he was just not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how Jersey people talk. That's how a lot of Northerners talk.
that's how a
When they
lot of
talk,
Northerners talk. That's some Aquarius shit too.
yeah,
Because if I feel like you playing me, I gotta cut. I gotta cut first. If I even get the slightest inclination that you trying to diss, oh nigga, I'm going for the
listen.
jugular. Like that's how we
When I was
move.
in college, I was Brandy a little bit. You know, I went to college down south. I was Brandy a little bit. Had a couple, Southern homies, and they were sensitive. And a lot of
They do be
times
sensitive.
but it's a dynamic, and a lot of times it's cool, but I mean it was just funny because whatever Brandy was saying, Monica's reactions to them, the whole thing was comedy to me. So
Yeah,
they
the whole thing was comedy, and at the end of the night,
hold on,
we've
we ain't no
seen
group.
footage
We ain't no
from we've seen footage from Mars. We've seen footage from other people that were in the room to show you that at the end of the night, like they were kicking it. They were replaying Monica's new song, dancing. Monica was dancing on Brandy. Monica also has never struck me as somebody who really wanted to be in the spotlight for real. You know what I'm saying? I think that she's been very she's very intentional about how she allows herself to be put in the spotlight. Like, I don't know that you can think of a whole gang of Monica interviews that you've seen over the course of her career. Um, she's very active on Instagram, but that's something that she's controlling, right? Like it's
right.
her
Yeah,
and
her
her
Instagram
family
is
and her
lit.
kids.
Her Instagram is
It's
amazing.
not she's not outside like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very possible that she just didn't want to be on camera. I mean, on camera with 1.2 million people watching.
Yeah, and I mean, like she said, man, she's been doing it since she was 12 years old. That's a lot. Both of them have been through a lot personally. They've been, dragged into the public eye, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just, I take it as her reacting to the overall antics of verses,
Yeah,
more than just reacting to Brandy.
Brandy.
But Brandy did say some shady shit, and
She
Monica
did.
did have some funny ass reactions to it. So, but either
Yes.
way, you know, I have homies who we have that dynamic, and we still kick it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's sometimes it's when you looking at other people, you making it more than what it is because of the
Making it
perception
more
from
than
the
what it
outside.
is.
So it was funny. The jokes were funny. After a while, people got to be a little bit too much, and we just all
Yes.
wanted
And
it
I
to
will
be
say
over.
this, like it was equally. Like there was a guy in the comments that kept popping up on my timeline. I don't know why, because I didn't know who the fuck he was. But anytime Monica was talking or playing music, he was like, okay, sis, we don't want to hear the story. What's your song? Oop, boop. Brandy won that one. Sir, relax. Anyway. But yeah, so we have come to the
Weird stand
conclusion
energy.
that what I don't like about verses is how y'all motherfuckers act. Y'all not here for the music.
No, they're
You're
not here
here
for the
to
music.
actually make this an actual rivalry, and I don't like that part. I don't like that part. I went, and jokingly went on Facebook and was like, "Well, are y'all ready to apologize to Monica? I mean, to Brandy, Rayana Norwood? I'm very tickled by the fact that her middle name is Rayana and her brother's name is Raymond Jr. Um, uh, I said, apologize because my thing was just like she didn't get washed. Nobody got washed. Nobody got washed in my
Nah,
book.
that's a little bit too much. That's
I think they both played a couple songs where they could have maybe played something else. I know that they both played songs that were not new songs that I had never heard before. Um, but overall, again, as somebody who grew up, who loved the Miss Thing album, who still plays the Full Moon album on a regular basis, who grew up watching these girls represent me, at being the same, because we're, I think Brandy's a year older than me. Monica might be 2 years younger than me. So they're my peers, you know what I mean? And to me, like, I never wanted to see anything negative or say anything negative about either of them, just personally. Anyway, if Aaliyah was still alive, y'all would have found a way to hate her too. Y'all are just miserable people. We love y'all.
Absolutely.
Happy birthday, Beyonce, by the way. Alrighty. Let's talk about it was something else. So this week, last week, one Joseph Budden. There's no S at the end of his last name. It's just Budden. Made a statement that he was leaving Spotify, taking his podcast off of Spotify. They have, I think, 6 episodes left that they have to give to Spotify. After that, he hasn't announced yet what they're going to do, but they're taking the Joe Budden podcast off of Spotify. And because we are the generation of read the headline only and don't read the whole thing, y'all started talking crazy. Y'all started, shucking and jiving a little bit. Because how dare he want to leave this good house that Masters built for him, without understanding what the situation was. And I wanted to commend Joe because I think that Joe, took the next 2 episodes of it. Well, he explained why they were leaving on or announced that they were leaving on a first episode, right? And then went back on the second episode, which was last week Saturday or Saturday's episode, and explained why they were leaving and explained why people's reactions to it were not really great. And like the highlights that I took from it was, one, that you got to understand and none of us do, and I think that's something that we do often, right? We don't realize the value of the content that we're creating, because we're just on the internet, we're just having a good time, we're just whatever. So like, it went viral, we're excited about a viral tweet, or a lot of people who have started podcasts in the last 5 years are not people who have necessarily thought about scaling it, thought about monetizing it, none of that stuff, right? So Joe Budden was very transparent about what their contract looked like and some of the things that they had built into their contract that I think a lot of people probably don't think about. He was very transparent about the fact that they tried to prevent him and his team from taking a vacation. They do that show 2 days a week, every week. And they asked for some time off. And if I'm not mistaken, he was asking for time off because his father was sick. And there was some pushback. They tried to offer them some Rolex watches as a bonus because there was a threshold. And that's the thing too that he talked about. He talked about building thresholds into your contract. And when those thresholds are met, there's supposed to be a certain thing that the company does. And niggas just tried to not do it. Like, niggas just tried to act like y'all weren't meeting the threshold. And so, it got to a point where he did not want to renegotiate it. And it is a position of power, and he mentioned that as well, the position of power that you put yourself in when you are negotiating with. And I don't like to, I'm like Sis, I don't like to make these black versus white conversations. It just so happens that this corporation is run by white people, but
I was just about to say, I bet they don't do this shit to Joe Rogan.
They don't. So we don't like to say this a black and white thing, but at the same time,
a lot of things are black and white things, and we can say that about things because, especially when it comes to treatment, because we're devalued.
Yes.
In corporate spaces.
But here's the thing: we're devalued in corporate spaces, and we're devalued honestly within our own spaces because why? There's always going to be a nigga that's going to want to come behind you and do it for cheaper.
Cut your legs off. Cut your legs off from up under you.
Ask any DJ you know. Ask any DJ you know. Ask any writer you know. Ask any producer you know.
Wait. What was he gonna do it for? I'd do it for half.
I've literally had somebody like let me puff my chest up just a little bit because I'm trying to learn to do that a little bit more. I started my professional career as a journalist in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I started writing for allhiphop.com. professionally in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I was a senior writer at All Hip Hop for 7 years. I was an editor at Gossip for a year and a half. I was an editor at, another publication recently, but unfortunately, their budget was fucked up because of COVID, and that ended. I've written for The Source, Scratch, Double XL, Essence, Ebony, Upscale, 2 cover articles for Upscale. I've written bios for fucking Organized Noise, Raekwon, Busta Rhymes just 2 weeks ago. I've interviewed anybody that you can fucking imagine. I've,
Talk to him, Ty. Talk heavy.
I don't do this a lot.
Heavy,
like every
sis.
time that you saw the Combat Jack show at A3C, except for the first year that they were there, and even the first year that they were there, I had a hand in that shit. And you could have asked Combat, he would have never denied that shit. That's how I literally have people that only know me because of that, because of Combat shouting me out on episodes of his podcast that were done here in Atlanta. For you to come to me and ask me to write a bio and then turn around and be like, oh, well, my little cousin says she's going to write it for $50. Fuck you, my nigga. Like, don't do that. You're not getting the same thing.
And
it's fine bio. If you had a $50 budget, that's cool. Go over there and get the $50 bio, but do not try to sit there and tell me that my price, which is still less than what writers in New York are charging for bios, because I live in Atlanta and I have to match this dumbass market that's over here. I love y'all, but still. We're always undercutting ourselves. So I this week became a fan of Joe Budden because Joe Budden came to us. I'm a podcaster. I am somebody who's been in this space for 5-6 years, who intends on being in this space in a very long time. I'm somebody who does, what we do. We do this commentary stuff, but I'm also working on interview stuff. I'm also working on documentary stuff. I appreciated him saying, number one, these are the things that you can build into your contract. Number two, make sure that you're paying attention to the value that you're bringing to them. And if they say that if you get a million impressions, we're going to do X, the minute you hit that million, be at their door like, hey, you said if I did X, that you would do Y.
Right.
And I appreciate him saying that when I walk away from this deal, that means they're not going to come at nobody else with no fuck shit. Even if it comes in the midst of Joe Budden continuing to be a very, very problematic individual, but that's not my business.
And, I think once we saw Joe Rogan go over to Spotify, I was like, I wonder if, and yes, here we are. So, I feel like at this point, Buttons has to realize his own power as a podcaster, and hopefully this will be that moment, because Complex, you had some issues over there, Complex with the fuckery, and once again, if you're under a corporate structure, then expect dumb shit to happen. So yes. I just hope he don't go to no other place like Barstool or none of those trash ass places, because they're gonna make you play by their rules. They're not going to give you the maximum value. We got to start creating value. Like it's not enough to just complain about what we don't like or how we're being treated. Fuck that. Let's go treat ourselves. Let's go. Like if you're an OG in this space now, Joe, and you're the guy and you can create value for other people, start your own podcast brand and let other younger podcasters fall up under you. You know what I'm saying? Build that bridge to the better opportunities. Do for others what Spotify didn't do for you. And that's what we got to do. We got to build our own spaces. So I'm glad Joe said that. But I hope that more people will understand, like, yo, it's cool to go the independent route, right? You could do the independent route and still do major deals. And people don't realize that. They think you got to go sit up under a major corporation. You got to get a major record deal or a major podcasting deal to do major things. No. All you got to have is major value. If you got major value, you got major credit in the streets or the streets of whatever industry it is that you're in, you have all the power, all the negotiating power. You got all the leverage you need to go do deals with whoever. I mean, look at Travis Scott. The man has his own Happy Meal. He's got his own McDonald's meal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the last celebrity was to have their own McDonald's meal? Who? Michael Jordan.
Wow.
I need y'all to really understand what that means.
Go the flame. Go to Flame. Man,
Go with
listen.
Flame.
Man, I'm so proud of black people.
Me too.
Because we could literally, like, just don't complain. You know, if you want equity, if you want equality, like, create it as much as you can. You know, and they'll respect you. Like, they ain't got no choice.
They got
If
no
you got the
choice.
power, they ain't got no choice. So
That's it.
you know, my whole thing is just folks sitting around waiting for somebody to give them a handout or do something for them, but they're trying to live up to the expectation of the system that they're railing against. Why are you worried
Right.
about that system? If you don't agree with it, don't live under it. You know, or if you have to, set your plan to get from under that system. You know, because everybody just
That's
can't
it.
jump like, oh yeah, okay, screw capitalism. I'm just going to be, you know, I'm just going to live in a commune or whatever. You can't do that because you still live within the confines of a capitalist society. But you got to start setting yourself up to get out of those situations.
Except for the medical professionals, I want y'all to stay in hospitals. Okay, thanks.
Big Sean said Western medicine is some bullshit. We're going to get to that later.
So last week, one of the headlines, or this week, earlier this week, maybe late last week, was that Bella Thorne, who I still can't fully identify. Like I know the name, but you could show me anybody right now and be like, that's Bella Thorne. And unless it was like a really, really recognizable person, I'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
Great.
But I don't really know who she is. Matter of fact, I'll put it this way. You could show me Bella Thorne and Billie Eilish, and I might hesitate. No.
So I know Billie Eilish for sure.
I think I would recognize Billie Eilish. Point being, I don't really fully know who the hell Bella Thorne is, but it's a name that I've seen and heard a lot over the last 4 or 5 years. I think she's affiliated to the Disney World in some way. I don't know. I think my brain always wants to think that she's the character from wasn't the girl from Twilight, wasn't her name Bella?
I think so.
Anyway, I can't identify this child, but she went on OnlyFans for whatever reason and made $2 million.
Okay.
And the sex workers are hot.
Well, did she have sex on OnlyFans? Or?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
She went on there. Let's see. She took to Twitter over the weekend to apologize around the controversy surrounding her newly created OnlyFans. Last week, the former Disney star had made $1 million during her first 24 hours on OnlyFans. It doesn't say what her content was on OnlyFans. But she said that it was research for an upcoming project. And because of the way that her fans interacted with her OnlyFans account, that actually caused OnlyFans as a company to go back and say, hold up, here's a scenario that we didn't think about. Now we got to change up the rules on X, Y, and Z. And what that does is it fucks up the people who actually rely on OnlyFans for their income. So,
and let's be clear, there are lots of services that have been started by sex workers, and then regular people go and fuck it up for the sex workers.
Fuck it up for them. So
PayPal
to go back
is one.
OnlyFans is at one point was one of several outlets where sex workers, and when we say sex workers, we talk about, adult film actors, we talk about maybe exotic dancers, cam girls, whatever you want to call it. All the shit that y'all like to shame women for doing, even though y'all are out there definitely 100% watching the shit. Going to the strip club, watching the porn, buying the magazines, sneaking to see the photos, whatever. And it was a way for people to monetize it because, we now live in a world where like people are able, these are options that allow these women to do their work with a little bit more safety, right? So like they don't necessarily have to leave their house, they don't necessarily have to directly interact with people, and they're able to support themselves. When the pandemic hit and everybody was stuck at home, I think whoever the first celebrity was that jokingly made an OnlyFans did it as a joke, and then it became a joke. And then now a bunch of people who are not necessarily sex workers ran to it because they thought this was a way for them to make money.
And it
Um,
is.
it is.
It is.
A lot of people have supported also OnlyFans because when you look at, adult content, I'm trying not to call it porn, even though I mean it is what it is, and I don't think that's a negative word, but I think it does
Well,
have a
some of
negative
it
connotation
is,
to some people. Some of it, yes. There's a lot of weird shit. People
Well,
have
yeah,
weird ass.
OnlyFans is a very, it's a place where people can express themselves, just like Tumblr used to be, in different ways to their audience. A lot of niche audiences, a lot of fetish stuff, you know. Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying I don't want to call it anything negative because, I'm saying, like, you're doing what you're doing. And I think that they have the proper restrictions in place to prevent people from doing illegal shit, right? So anything that is exploitative. And then what a lot of people have commended OnlyFans on is that you as the content creator can decide what you will, what you won't do, how much you want to charge. Some people have a $5 a month subscription. Some people have a $25 a month for subscription. Some people have shit you can access for free, whatever. But the community around that, and specifically I want to shout out Cinnamon Love, who I'm in a group with on Facebook, and who was the reason why I was even alerted to the fact that people were speaking out about this. There is actually an organization called the BIPOC. I don't know if we're supposed to say BIPOC or BIPOC. I don't know. Adult Industry Collective. And they're speaking out because they said that, it's bullshit. She said that it's already mainstream at the beginning of this year because of, like, there was a New York Times article about it. Then Beyonce shouted it out. Then Cardi B joined, and Cardi B joined to provide like behind the scenes content from WAP. But when hold on a second, I'm trying to see exactly where.
Were we like pretending we didn't know OnlyFans existed, or because it was?
There are a lot of people who didn't know. I don't think I knew before maybe late last year, but I really feel like it was actually early this year. But also, I'm also one of those people that didn't realize that like Twitter, like it's really whole ass porn on Twitter. Like whole, unedited.
So you never discovered Twitter After Dark?
No, because I mean, when I knew of Twitter After Dark, it was just a bunch of dry ass motherfuckers having dirty conversations, which to me is always boring.
No,
Twitter you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, go on any Tuesday.
No, I know now.
I know, but I'm talking to the audience. Any Tuesday, hashtag Titty Tuesday, and you'll have fun. But I mean, also just to be clear, there's a lot of like sex therapists and a bunch of different people in that space. Not just okay, cool. It's just people butt ass naked doing whatever. But there's a lot of it's a dynamic space. The adult industry is dynamic, but a lot of people just put it in that one dirty box. You know what I'm saying? That
right.
That the church view of the box. Oh, that's don't do this, don't do that. That type of vibe. We're all adults. If not, then you shouldn't be listening or watching those types of things. But we're all adults, right? So those things exist. Twitter is a free space,
wide open. Wide the fuck open. I had no idea. And how I found out was so random. Like somebody just randomly commented on something that had nothing to do with sex. And I'm looking at this video clip in the comment and I'm like, that 5 minutes long? Oh my God, it's a whole ass flick. Like money shots and everything. I was surprised. I didn't know that.
So, it's just like any other place. They mark the sensitive material. It's the world. It's the internet.
It is. And the complaint that a lot of people are having is that in situations like this, it's not where this famous person is coming in to advocate for sex workers, to empower them in any way or to use their platform to help remove some of the stigma of sex work. It's really the opposite. It's, you know, somebody like Bella Thorne, who I think the only reason why I know about her is because it seems like she's been just trying her whole last 5 years of her career to distance herself from the good girl Disney image. Because, you know, we all know that Disney has a very, very Disney has been notorious for wanting to make sure that their stars keep a certain clean image because it's Disney, right?
Right.
Um, and it just seems like she's somebody who's been trying to fight that clean image for a really, really long time. And for her to jump over here, like now you jumped over here, you have no intentions of really being in this world. You don't really know this world. You're not really advocating for nobody. And then, you know, came in here and made $1 million in a day, which means that OnlyFans has to change what you're allowed to charge. I think that's what it was. There was an allegation that she charged $200 for nudes that she never delivered.
Right.
That there were a lot of refund requests. So they're talking about this $1 million that she made, but they don't talk about how many people asked for their money back. So they introduced a policy change that rankled content creators, adding a 30-day wait period for payouts and requesting pay-per-view prices to $50, restricting pay-per-view prices to $50. So now, because Bella Thorne allegedly came in here and charged $200 for nudes, nobody is allowed to charge more than $50 for anything on OnlyFans, and
I'm seeing
they
100.
gotta wait 30 days before OnlyFans will actually pay them out their money.
So is it 50? Because I'm seeing 100. But okay, so
The article I'm looking at is as of Tuesday.
okay. So I'm looking at Cosmopolitan from September 3rd.
Okay.
But price withstanding. Here's the thing, right? Bella Thorne thought she was doing something. I don't believe OnlyFans is a space that anybody should be policing. I don't believe anybody should say, because first of all, OnlyFans is a corporation. It's a business. They're gonna do what's best for them to make money. People use OnlyFans as they see fit, the same way they do every other platform that's available to them. OnlyFans has it allows more things than, you know, it doesn't have the restrictions that other places have. But that doesn't mean that any group of people should be like, oh, you can't be on here because of this. But at the same time, Shorty fucked up the money for everybody. And according to her, that wasn't her intention. Right? So
It wasn't her intention, but I would venture to say it wasn't her intention. She didn't set out to do it, but she also didn't think about the potential consequences.
no, I mean, because she didn't think they was going to put a cap on it. She said, in her own words, she said that she was trying to bring attention to a place where other people were there and try to bring more money and spotlight on the space, because this is something that she's tried to do before. So I don't really know her background in any of that, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's not hard to look up if she's done that. But in doing this, she messed up the money. So here we are. You messed up the money. But it's just weird when you got, like, I understand the dynamics of the topic, but it's weird when you got these groups of people, you know, oh, well, this person, you shouldn't have been on here. Listen, it's OnlyFans, bro. It's like the street corner. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? If you get to the corner before I do, get your money. It's about you and your audience. Get your money. People going to hustle on here. We don't need no coalitions of people coming in and saying, "Oh, we're the Black Sex Workers of America," or "We the."
I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you a real world comparison to that. I don't know if this is a federal thing or if it's just a Georgia thing, but if you go to if your school is labeled a Title I school, public school is labeled a Title I school, I think it's Title I. There is a designation that basically earmarks the school to be able to receive more money for programs.
That's a national thing. Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who aren't parents or who don't know, there is a designation that allows a public school to be eligible for more money for programs, and that's based on where the school is and the kids not really necessarily having access to certain programs or certain things. And so they try to pour that money into the school to make, you know, music classes or dance classes or swim classes or whatever available. In the city of Atlanta, over the last few years, there's been an ongoing battle with parents because what happens is this Title I school gets all this money, and gets these programs, and people who can afford to pay for their kids to go get music lessons, or pay for their kids to go to ballet class, or pay for their kids to go get swim lessons, move to these neighborhoods and put their kids in those public schools, and then now it's a wait list for the parents who are already in that community who don't necessarily know enough to advocate for their kids to make sure that their kids have that same access. So it's a slippery slope. I hear what you're saying. I hear nobody could tell anybody else where they can come in or whatever,
Listen,
but it is a slippery slope when you have other options and you coming in here fucking up somebody's only
well,
option.
okay, so you know, I have family and friends and close people of mine that work in the sex industry, and first of all, most of the people that are OGs in that game are doing it. They don't go on places like OnlyFans. OnlyFans is for new people. It's like for people who are just trying to get I'm just trying to get a few dollars. It's a hustle spot.
Exactly.
Because really the way you get money is by you use OnlyFans as a gateway to your own content. I mean, it's literally the way it's been. If y'all go on any of those free sites and you see like, oh man, I can only see like the clip. They only released the 3-minute clip. I want to see the whole movie. Well, they're not showing you the whole movie because they're not trying to give it away for free. They want you to have to come and pay for it. You know, so
Right.
the way those people really make their money is by controlling their own experience. Going through OnlyFans, it'll pop for a bit, but it's a hustle. And that's the thing. It's a hustle. Y'all trying to organize around a hustle. She was trying to hustle. She messed up. The money's messed up. Y'all got to figure it out. But trust me, there's many other places y'all can go and get your bread. Everybody's on OnlyFans now because it's the popping street corner. But there are
I don't think the people who are arguing about it are saying that, like, one, this organization is not just an organization for OnlyFans. Like, it's definitely
of course not. But what I'm saying is, if you know, OnlyFans it's a thing that's happening for the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like the MySpace of the sex industry. You know what I'm saying? At the time, it's hot, it's popping, it's the TikTok. Like, cool, we gonna go over here and get our money real quick. But there have been those places before, and there'll be those places after.
There'll be those places.
Everybody's not on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. She messed it up. So now what you gonna do? Like, is somebody else doing some dumb shit on there messing it up too? Like, she just happened to have the stature, and I'm just tired of shaming famous people. I'm tired of shaming famous people. I'm tired of shaming rich people. Like, once they become rich and famous, they can't make mistakes and do shit too. Like, they all of a sudden they just can't. Like, they're supposed to be perfect people, and they're just up for us to beat them like pinatas. It's getting old. You know, if you out here and you getting your money, ain't nobody gonna knock you off your hustle. And that's the one thing that I can applaud about the industry. It's full of people who are natural born hustlers and entrepreneurs, and they've moved and built amazing industries that would not exist without their work. But at the same time, I find it weird that you got a subsection or groups of them who want to complain about it. Because trust me, the ones that's really out here, they ain't worried about it. They done moved from this hotel to that hotel. To, you know, they done been inconvenienced and slid, but they still getting there. They're not worried about it. So it's weird. Right. Like I said, I know people who really do this industry every day. You know, this is their livelihood. They've been doing this thing for years and years and years, and they're super well connected. And then those people ain't worried about this. They're not worried about this. They gonna get their bread. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool. It's a headline, but I'm just like, all right, man. Some people just like to, you know, they like to advocate. Like, we got we got an over advocation problem right now. Everybody,
I agree with that to an extent.
And it's cool. It's like and I'm not really saying, you know, people shouldn't advocate, but it's like more solutions. Like, so now what? What are we doing now? The money's messed up. It's done. Now what are we doing?
Well, yeah, but you know, in that same vein, like, people jumping up and saying, "Hey, man, by the way, it's cool that she made this $2 million, but let's just have this conversation," might be all that it takes for.
This is an old conversation, though. It's literally every platform they have this conversation. Once again, they've been kicked off of PayPal. They've been kicked off of Tumblr. They've been kicked. Like, literally, people don't know. Sex workers started PayPal. Like, people know how widely used PayPal is.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, you know this because you have people that are in the industry, right?
Right.
So every time they have this conversation, regardless of what the platform is that they're having the conversation around, it is an opportunity to inform somebody else.
Oh, absolutely. But let's have the whole conversation. Let's not just make it about this one lady on this one platform, because people they only hear the popping parts. They only hear OnlyFans and the artist name or whatever. It's just, if you're gonna educate people on sex work and the places and things they built and all the history of whatever, then be those people. I just don't see that part of it. I see us saying, hey, you shouldn't have done this. Slap on the wrist, rich person. Why are you on here? You messed up the money, yada, yada, yada. Rich people messing up the money forever.
Up the money.
Cardi B on there selling WAP footage. Like, people, ain't nobody, I mean, somebody's complaining about that, I guarantee you, but they're not complaining about that. And that's just as problematic for that industry because she not on there for the same reason. All the people jumped on the quarantine, they're all messing up the money. So this girl is just one other person messing up the money. And picking her to single out is kind of weak in my opinion.
Well, no, they picked her to single out because she made $1 million in 24 hours. Hey, that's why she gets.
We don't know how much Cardi B made.
I mean, if it was more than that, I promise you that would have been a headline also.
Listen, I guarantee
you already know. you already know. You already know. Pocket counting internet is a thing. That's how. What's her name could be a billionaire on Forbes and then also immediately be shamed because she wasn't really a billionaire.
I would be surprised. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Cardi's numbers come in. Or whatever, you know. I mean, but some people just don't. Maybe some people just don't because the Cardi didn't.
Also, you know, black folk don't like to pay for shit.
Well, she got a lot of audience. Well, I don't know these days.
I'm not really. I'm joking, y'all. But you know, we will try to find a hookup.
But these days, man. Once again, this generation is different, man. They paying that subscription. Them subscription fees done got them. Whoever figured out subscription fees.
Niggas is still out here trying to jailbreak Fire Stick.
Somebody is out here borrowing a man's OnlyFans password.
Listen, I promise you somebody is bootlegging Mulan right now.
Oh, absolutely.
Right now, you can get a Mulan bootleg for $10 instead of the $30.
Shit, I'm about to go find it right now. Oh, I got this.
I am a noob. I found one person's OnlyFans that I was interested in supporting, and then that shit was like $5 a month. And I was like, I will definitely give y'all $5 for this one video today that I wanted to watch. But I don't know that I want to commit to giving y'all $5 every month.
I might find some OnlyFans in my budget. I'm thinking about it, supporting. You know, I just gotta find somebody.
That's a whole nother conversation. But you know, the other shit that's out there doesn't necessarily do it for me. Anyway, hi guys, music. But you know, shouts to people stepping into restricted places. All right, so let's get to this music this week, guys. I think we're gonna start doing a playlist, like an actual playlist.
Okay.
And it'll be on chopblockpod.com.
Mm-hmm.
Because literally Sis and I will find, you know, we'll talk about 5 or 6 songs every week, but obviously there's way more shit that comes out. And even when we talk about the 5 or 6, I promise you, every time we prep this show, we leave a song on the table that we said we were going to talk about, never get around to it, never get around to a particular album. I wanted to talk about Big Sean's album being executive produced by Kanye and Hit Boy, I think 2 weeks ago, and I don't think we ever got around to it. So while Monica was doing her battle with Brandy, she played a new joint called Trenches that was produced by the Neptunes featuring Lil Baby. And those 3 words should really already tell you what you're dealing with musically.
You know, when I first heard this record, we were talking about it, and a couple people said that they heard some folks who didn't really like the record. And I was like, oh, well, I don't really know what's wrong with their ears. So I went to the timeline, I typed in Lil Baby Monica, and it was mostly positive. Not that I really care what critics think, but I listened to that song. It doesn't feel forced. The track is perfect for the message. It fits both of them. Lil Baby is the perfect thing. Like I watched the video where she was sitting with Pharrell, and they were talking about the song and what they wanted to do. And Pharrell was saying, you know, I want to find somebody that is the parallel. He said I wanted to do something like Mariah Carey and ODB, you know, but like the new trap version. You know what I'm saying? Something that's Atlanta, something that people can identify with. And I feel like the songs it's a strong message. Like just being a regular dude from around the way. Like if you listen to this song and you let Monica tell her story, and this is where Monica's always had a strong suit. Monica's always been really grounded. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that she talks about, you feel like, yo, that's something I went through. You know, or that's something that I know somebody went through. Or it was like like legit.
Right,
So,
that's what I was gonna say. It ain't something I went through, but I
right.
believe she did.
But these are like, you know, it's a story of street tales of people getting lost up in the shuffle. You know, it's called Trenches, and it feels really good. The melody is infectious. I probably ran it back maybe a good 6-7 times. That's how much I was
And
enjoying
I
it.
like that Monica gave it a more modern feel, like in terms of her delivery on the
Absolutely,
song,
yep,
without it feeling like she's trying to sound like a young nigga.
exactly. And that's what I was saying. Like it felt natural. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm trying to, you know, trap sing or whatever. No, she was floating on it. She was skating on it, as the kids
I'm
said.
gonna make a bop for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So cool. Again, the joint is called Trenches, featuring Lil Baby, produced by the Neptunes. Because it's Monica and Lil Baby, we probably will get a video for it since they're both here in Atlanta. It was a heavy R&B week in general. Jasmine Sullivan back.
Hey,
with a
wonder
new
what
joint
she's
called
up
Lost
to.
One.
Shout out to Philly. Hey, Jazz, what's up?
We
We claim her and like that other lady.
What's his?
That lady down in Dallas acting crazy.
That lady. Jasmine Sullivan. Jasmine Sullivan is Jasmine Sullivan.
She is.
She's very good at packing emotion into things. She will equally give you a circles and that energy, and then turn around and give you something like this, which is, you know, it's a breakup song. It's a hey nigga, I know we broke up and you about to go wild out because you know you lost a good one, but you know, just don't get too out of control.
Don't get out of control because we might get back together. So just don't do nothing too crazy.
Just don't do no shit you can't come back from.
Don't get nobody pregnant. Don't catch no nothing.
Fuck nobody I know.
Just make sure like you go out, you have a little fun, then we'll talk about it. I felt
and
that.
See, and that's also the thing with Jasmine Sullivan. I think Jasmine Sullivan is a singer like Monica who will give you real life situations in the music, but then her voice is one that people might lend to pigeonholing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's the kind of singer that she is, there's, I think, a certain kind of music that y'all would want her to do. Y'all would want her to be Bill Scott's stylistic child, and that's just not who she is. And shit, Jilly ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like the energy that y'all be trying to put on her. Really?
No, I mean,
really think about it.
People kind of pick and choose out of her catalog. They don't really be listening.
Y'all forgot Jill Scott came out with a song addressing a side chick.
Listen, Jill Scott from North Philly, dog.
She telling her that she gonna find you and beat your ass for what it's worth, $5.99 or something like that. Like, listen.
She from one of the most ratchet places in America. She is not playing with you. Don't let the head wrap fool you. I forget what I was watching. And the lady said, "Don't let these degrees and this dashiki fool you. I'm from the block."
Or like when Erykah Badu said, you know, this incense and tea could turn to Newports and 40s real quick.
Real quick. Exactly.
Real quick.
Don't catch the duality.
I was gonna say Tweet was back, but when I went to go look up this new joint that she dropped, which is called Never Felt This Way, Tweet apparently has been pretty active this year. This was her third or fourth song that she dropped this year in 2020.
Wow. Where we been?
That we completely missed.
New
joint is called Never Felt This Way. And Tweet is also that kind. Tweet is Tweet. Very clearly, very in pocket. If you listen to Never Felt This Way and went back to what's the song? I'm about to tell you the name of the song on her first album, and you'd be like, yeah, it's the same person. It fits. Without it being dated. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just is one of those people that makes very classic, very what's the word? It says
I don't know. Our word might be different.
Universal? Just shit that's not gonna go out of style. Like shit that you can play at any moment and it doesn't feel like it's
timeless is what we call it.
Yeah. So she's back. Like I said, new joint is called Never Felt This Way. Never. NEVA. Never.
I feel like,
and I'm looking at the cover for Never Felt This Way and the cover for Southern Hummingbird, which came out in 2002. Same face. God damn, it's beautiful to be a black woman.
I feel like she should be on tour with Emery or something.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Why
A.
not?
Marie is doing that good LGBTQ circuit and making dance bops.
Okay. Can't Tweet exist in that same space?
Tweet really don't really make a whole bunch of dance bops. She's
Well, no,
really
she might
playing
not
for
be,
two
but
or
I'm
three.
talking about the classic stuff. I'm talking about them
Mm.
OG tours. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
with your hits. I don't, that newfangled stuff. That's cool. But
She had a song on her first album. Tweet had a song on her first album called "Beautiful." That's kind of what her vocal lead with this song reminded me of. Y'all, once upon a time, we were introduced to a young man named Bryson Tiller. Bryson Tiller gave us, how do we call it? Bryson Tiller introduced us to, I'm not a great singer, but I'm a solid songwriter who can sing and deliver you this R&B vibe, these R&B vibes over very hip hoppy beats for this generation. Sadly for Bryson Tiller, once he introduced that style, 5011 other niggas came out and did the same thing. And then to add insult to injury, one Canadian midget came in here sounding just like him. Just like him. To the point that to this day, as songs get deleted out of my playlist by said Canadian midget, couple Bryson Tiller songs that came on and I had to go check and see whose song this was and if I could keep listening to it or not.
well, it's like when you get up, you get out your seat, right? You at the cookout. You get up, you go to do something else, you come back. What you gonna find? Somebody in your
Somebody else in
seat,
your seat?
and his ass took way too long to come back. And a lot of people done sat in his seat. They done sat in his seat for a long time. They done got accolades and been more consistent. And now, when he comes back, now you sound like the people that sounded like you.
And so now Bryson Tiller sounds like Black. And when I say Black, you guys, it's because the 6 is actually supposed to be a B.
Right.
And y'all want to call him Six Slack. I feel like Six Slack sounds like a cooler name too, but it's Black. But anyway, Bryson Tiller dropped a new joint. It's called Inhale. The cool thing about it is that the production of it is actually a mashup of SWV's song All Night from the Waiting to Exhale album and Not Gonna Cry, I think, which was on the same album. Y'all know the one. Was Your Lover and Your Secretary? Secretary. But it also gave me very Kate Trinata, what's the other guy's name? Gold Link E vibes, where like I wanted you to hear this cool ass production and my singing was really not the point of the song. Because it was a minute and 11 seconds before we heard Bryson Tiller's voice on the song.
Yeah, what was that about?
Telling you. I feel like he was just trying to really showcase the production.
Did he produce it? I mean, like,
I'm about to look that up and see. But he does have a new album coming out in the fall. Okay. And maybe now that the midget is facing possible arrest and deportation, Bryson Tiller will come back and sit down in his seat.
Nah, his seat gone.
Huh?
His seat's gone.
Make a new seat?
His seat's been gone. He gonna have to make a new seat because Don't was a while ago, my nigga.
He had another hit since Don't. No?
I don't know.
Maybe they're just songs that I like. He has a song called Running Me Down. That's not what it's called. But that's the song every time I hear it, I think it's the midget. And I'd be like, oh shit, wait, no, that's Bryson Tiller.
I
Anyway,
mean, listen, people like Drake have sat in his seat. Like Travis Scott has sat in his seat. So many people have sat in his seat. His seat
yeah,
don't exist. It just doesn't exist anymore. That
that's
whole
real.
trap soul vibe has been done into the ground. I mean, Drake's whole Scorpion album. You know, a lot of Travis's album, Astro World, was in that vein. You know what I mean? Like a lot of what's coming out, not just from R&B singers, but rappers, you know, just period, have tapped into that vibe for at least a hit or two. You know,
Yeah,
everybody's had fun with that one. You know, so I mean, I
yeah.
think Bryson Tiller is super talented. It's just you got to come with something different, fam. You can't come with the same exact thing you left us with because that thing don't belong to you no more.
The song that I love is called "Run Me Dry," and that came out in 2017. Um, this joint, "Inhale," was produced by Deepat. I don't know if you know who that is. Okay, cool. Um, continuing on, SZA
Hey,
was in the news because y'all just love to run with shit. And
SZA.
SZA said she was trying to drop some new music, and Punch wasn't letting her, and y'all started hollering about some free SZA,
And
which
she came out
seemed
with a
odd to me, and I don't even follow
whole,
shit. Huh?
and then she come out with a whole choreographed video.
Well, first of all, she came out with a statement and said, "Don't nobody need to free me." That me and Punch argue sometimes, we disagree about things, but he's never led me astray, so I'm gonna let him do what he do.
But you can't bring that to the public and then say that. Like,
That's true.
stop putting your business in the street. Like that's
Celebrities
the
gotta.
weird part. Like you can't be like, yo, I'm gonna go complain on Instagram, and then it'd be a million people yelling at Punch and TDE team, and then they like, come on, says it like, why you got to do that? You know, like handle your fans. You know, they asking for music, talk to them, but you ain't got to throw TDE under the bus, and then you come out with this high budget video, you know, all professionally done up and stuff, like they wasn't doing nothing for you. Now I'm looking at you crazy. Because you just said that they wasn't doing you right, and that video looks right to me.
That video, so okay, SZA dropped a new joint. It's called "Hit Different." Features Ty Dolla Sign, my favorite hookster. Um, and it's a whole like it's giving me Maya, Case of the X, go film a video. Janet Jackson. What was that song where she did the video? You Want This in the desert. Full on late 90s choreography with SZA and six broads standing around her. It's just amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And the song is really good. So
really good.
I'm glad to see that it was a whole false alarm, this whole free SZA situation.
I know
Because
punching them be like, come on, man. they getting it every which way between the Kendrick fans and you know the Absolians and you know Schoolboy
this
Q
fan culture
fans.
just needs to stop, bro.
It's
It's
so
so
annoying,
annoying.
man. If you are a
So
stan,
annoying.
you are what's wrong with music. Yes, I said it.
If Kendrick quits, he said it was because it's Punch said it would be because of y'all, because y'all be too demanding. But good
Don't
news.
ever be a stan of mine. I don't care what I
Kendrick,
do.
Kendrick has been spotted shooting a video.
Yeah, I heard he's like hovering over some stuff. Like, yeah, TDE got that budget, boy. They
Watch
must got
Kendrick
a
not even
PPE
drop no
loan.
damn music. Watch him drop y'all another one of those cryptic ass videos where we don't know what he's doing. Ty Dolla Sign also dropped a joint called "Expensive" featuring Nicki Minaj. Um, and I think Ty does what we just said Bryson doesn't do. Ty puts out music enough for you to just not forget that he's around.
Oh, absolutely.
He lightweight could have kept
He's
that one.
active though. You know what I mean? Like he makes a lot of music with his homies. He
Yes.
pops up on a lot of things. You'll see Ty Dolla Sign all over. He's just that guy. Like if you're in LA, and you need a bop or just want to go vibe out. He's one of the homies that always gets that call. So
I just thought about 20 years from now, Ty Dolla Sign being Uncle Charlie. Ty Dolla Sign being the one that's calling his youngins. Like, oh, you in the studio? I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull up. I might put a little something down for you. We're anyway. Ty Dolla Sign is Uncle Charlie 20 years from now. So Ari Lennox contributed to a really cool project. There is a nonprofit called Main Street Alliance, which is a nonprofit that supports small businesses in the U.S. they partnered with Crown Royal to release this one song. I don't know if there's other songs, but for this song, for every stream, Crown Royal will donate $1 until $500,000 have been reached to benefit small businesses and community across the country. And so what they did was Ari Lennox got with Anthony Ramos and redid the Sly and the Family Stone 1973 classic hit "If You Want Me to Stay." I enjoyed it because it didn't sound like Ari Lennox. Not that I don't enjoy Ari Lennox, but Ari's going to give you a very particular vibe also, and it was cool to hear her in that old school kind of way.
It felt like the original, which is it's a great Sly and the Family Stone record. That group, the dynamic, the vocals, the vibe is funky. This felt like that. It did justice to the original, and that's why I enjoyed it a lot. A lot.
So do you know who Anthony Ramos is?
I do not.
Anthony Ramos is the young man who played Mars Blackman on the remake of She's Gotta Have It on Netflix.
On Netflix. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's also been in. He was in Hamilton. He was in The Heights.
Okay,
so
I probably
part of that
I
New
probably know him.
Crew.
Okay, I probably know him if I see him.
Yeah, you would know him if you saw his face. I didn't know he was a singer, and he definitely, listening to this, I wouldn't have thought actor turned singer.
Is he Dominican?
Huh?
Is he Dominican? AKA
some kind of Caribbean Latino.
Come on, Hispaniola.
I'm about to look it up. I don't know who I'll be over there on that side of the island where I may not be allowed to go.
Y'all cousins,
I just don't sound like them when I speak Spanish.
You should. Y'all
look at thing. Yeah. He is. Que lo que. Well, he's from Brooklyn, so I'm gonna say Puerto Rican.
That might be, yeah.
Yes, he's Puerto Rican.
Okay, there you go. It's sad that we know that. Like, he's from Brooklyn. Oh yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
we know exactly where he's from too.
From the Bronx, if you are a black immigrant from the Bronx, I'm never gonna guess that you're Haitian.
No,
that's not where we go.
No.
Now, if you say, what is it? Something Valley. Damn, I got homies from up there too. But if you say Westchester, yeah, you're Haitian. We know where our people be at. Anyway, shouts to Anthony Ramos. And then shouts to my little boos, Chloe and Halle, because I just love seeing Chloe and Halle blossom. And they gave us this cute little bop, Do It, which was Just Grown Enough. So cute. It's Just Grown Enough. And then they went and got Doja Cat and the City Girls and Mulatto to jump on it with them.
They're treading in Ariana Grande territory.
What does that mean?
Remember how fast Ariana Grande grew up? She went from like cat Disney to like you're an adult. You're an adult
right.
now. Okay, cool.
Right.
But in a smooth way. It wasn't like an abrupt way. It was just kind of like a scale. And they're like scaling up to adulthood. It's not like I guess Miley Cyrus. Like, hey, I'm off Disney. Here I am.
Right. I'm out here. I'm
here for
swinging on wrecking balls naked.
I couldn't say like a year ago that I'd be listening to their music. I just couldn't say it. But what they've produced the last couple times out, I'm like, this okay. That's for me.
My only beef with that remix is that Carisha just refuses to be on beat.
She's just gonna look good.
But I was just having a conversation with somebody about how like it just doesn't seem being on beat just doesn't seem to be a requisite for this generation. They don't care.
Yo, but it's different. Like she's not even on beat, off beat. Like she's just like I don't know where the beat is.
You know, it's a very fascinating phenomenon with current music to me. When the song sounds like your engineer really could have just moved your
could have nudged it right
over a smidge and you would have actually been on the beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The shit sound like you heard the beat, you wrote to the beat, but you recorded a cappella.
Nah, see, so I was listening to Uzi. So shout out to Tidal. They did 2 live virtual concerts, Uzi and Meg,
Mm-hmm.
this week. Uzi did like a medley of his hits in, I believe, Underground Arts in Philly. Had a full setup, lights, everything, but it was just him and his DJ. And I was like, yeah, they could have nudged him, but this is kind of his pocket, and it's just his pocket. What she does is completely different than what
Girl, Blueface.
than what yeah, no, absolutely, because even Yachty's got a different pocket that I had to get used to, but it's still a pocket. Like, now that I know it, I know the pocket. You know what I'm saying? I know Uzi's he's gonna come in slightly early, and that's just his pocket. It's different, but the math still works, and it would just be a mathematical nudge to go into a different pocket, which would be the same. So I guess for somebody, it'd be like the 1 and the 3 or the 2 and the 4. You know what I'm saying? She on like the 1.3568723. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know. Sometimes, and then the next time she ain't even on, like, there's no math to it. So hey man, listen. I'm glad JT home. I mean, that's their dynamic though. It works. And, sometimes it sounds good. Her voice annoys the hell out of me. But, hey, man, if people like it, I guess.
A Boogie also gave us a new joint on that, trap R&B vibe. It's called Vroom Vroom.
Produced
featuring
by
Don Q and Trap Manny. Produced by
Cardiac and Murder Beats.
Shouts to Cardiac and Murder Beats.
Mm-hmm.
And RMR continues to surprise us. Or me.
He ain't going nowhere.
I really wish that RMR would not, like, the first thing that I found out about him wasn't some weird ass attempt to make something go viral that didn't really go viral. Because they could have just let it be. It probably would have went viral.
It went viral-ish.
It went viral-ish. It went viral on one platform. It was a heavily retweeted tweet. And that's it. And he didn't even have the presence of mind on that day to go back in and be like, oh shit, since y'all are here, follow me on Instagram or new single. Anyway, we've had this conversation already.
Shout out to Adrian Swish.
But he just dropped a new joint called Welfare featuring Westside Gunn. And R. Marcus sing.
Yeah, he's got vocals, man. He's got some chops.
He does.
Yeah.
But you feel like this whole trap aesthetic, this whole chops with a trap aesthetic in the face mask, you feel like that's
I don't know where, like, I still don't know where it's going.
But we still haven't never seen Doom's face.
Yeah, we have.
Have we?
Yeah.
Oh shit, never mind.
We knew once we figured out who Doom was before he was Doom, yeah.
Okay.
That Love, KMD. Yeah, we saw Zoom before.
Who else can we say that we've never seen them but we've heard their music? Is there anybody else?
I don't know. That's a good question. Audience, let us know if we've ever seen somebody. I don't know. That's a good one.
Anyway,
but I just don't know. Like, I like Definition, right? And I think they wanted to do something that stood out. And like I said, every time somebody does something like that, now we know what Sia looks like. Her bangs is just in the way. We know what she looks like. It reminds me of when her first came out and we didn't see her. It was just this whole thing, the silhouette vibe, type deal. And then eventually it's like, oh yeah, it's Gabby. Right? Then she did the whole sunglasses thing. It's like, it's like, Gabby, you're gorgeous. Like, what are you doing? Take that shit off your face.
Take that shit off your
and
face.
Just play the piano and sing. You know what I mean? Like, so, but I get the introduction, like, from a marketing standpoint or whatever. It's a gimmick. And like you said, he came in with a gimmick that we wasn't sure about. And this is the thing, like, I just don't know how long they're going to hold it. The dude is talented as hell. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
If this is the thing, I guess his fans connect with, like, for me, it's contrived, and sometimes that's good, especially for this younger audience. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, bro, you got to be hot up under that ski mask, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the other crazy shit was when the opening shot came in and it was him with the ski mask screwing up his face and it was Westside Gunn. I was like, wait, It was like that Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man moment. I was like, y'all trying to tell us something? Is this the same? Anyway, so y'all go check that out. It's called Welfare. B.O.B. must be cooking something up because we just saw him drop the second single in as many weeks.
Yeah.
And this second single, it was cool. It's called Z's, actually. So, well, shit, I guess he did what he meant to do because it's called Z's. Like, you know, the sleep 3 Z's. It wasn't a bad song. It just didn't really excite me. I just sounded so country just now. All of Atlanta came out. Hi, guys. But yeah, so Bob is cooking something up. Okay, look, listen. Joyner fucking Lucas, bro.
Oh boy. Listen, let me just. Okay. I'm just gonna speak my piece for time. I think Joyner Lucas is a very talented MC.
Wait, no, tell them why we're talking about Joyner. Are you gonna bring that in after?
There. Yes.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
I think Joyner Lucas is a technically sound MC, right?
Agreed.
We've seen technically sound MCs. We've also seen technically sound MCs that are absolutely fucking cornballs.
Agreed.
And I feel like he's one of those, and that's fine. His thing ain't for me. I feel like he's another one of those Eminem-ish black dudes. But Eminem is Eminem to me, so I don't need another one, especially not a black Eminem. What's up, Hobson?
Biracial. Remember, he made a whole song to remind y'all that
that's
he's
fine.
biracial.
And so did the other guy.
So did Logic, the other
Logic, right?
Eminem,
the other technically sound, amazing MC who's corny as fuck.
It's like one is a crispy Eminem,
so
the other one is a pretzel Eminem.
Yo, cut her mic, Mikey. Don't let her. Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. Right, go ahead.
So I say all that to say, Ashanti. Oh, Ashanti. Beautifully curvaceous.
Aging like fine wine.
Aging like amazingly fine wine, Ashanti. Why, oh why, did you become the love interest in this man's video?
And the very thin, this could have been anybody ass hook.
I feel like
I listened to the song long enough to know if there's a moment where she's allowed to. So what we're talking about is that Joyner Lucas just released a new song called Fall Slowly, featuring Ashanti.
I don't even want to know.
And she's featured on the hook, but she's also his love interest in the video. And y'all, did you know that corny can rub off? Because
she was like,
as much as the internet has been reveling in Ashanti's Instagram, Ashanti going to Carnival, Ashanti just being at the pool, Ashanti don't even kick it with nobody. You don't even know who the fuck be taking these pictures. And we've been so grateful. And all it took was 4 minutes standing next to Joyner Lucas. And we're like, I'm good.
I'm good on her. Oh my God.
Where's Carrie Hilson?
Wow.
What Carrie doing? She fine as shit.
Listen.
How do you ruin Ashanti, bro?
You ruined Ashanti. Joyner Lucas ruined Ashanti. Y'all gonna see it. Watch the video.
Watch the video.
Go watch the video.
If you can. I couldn't make it past the hook the first time the hook came in. I also feel like Joyner very deliberately is trying to give us Drake aesthetics with his hairline and the goatee in this song. I mean, in this video.
Yeah.
There's also this weird ass scene where they're in the kitchen and they're hugged up. And so like you don't see Ashanti's face, but you can see Joyner's face. Unfortunately for them, you know, they messed that up because they had already shown us that it was her. But they could have came in the kitchen and you would have never known that it was her at first. But he's looking over her shoulder like, look, guys, look what I got.
Right. Yeah, just so lame. Just so lame. Like, ugh.
Oh Jesus! I'm sorry. I feel really bad because
it's like the baddest. It's like the baddest girl in high school going to prom with the science Dungeons and Dragons geek.
the loser of the Dungeons and Giants Science Geek crew. Like, not even the ringleader of their crew, but like the one that even they don't really want to hang out with.
I'm sorry. This is turning into the We Hate Jordan Lucas podcast.
It did not. It